Youth culture today has a level of corporate market pressure on it unprecedented in human history. Not just black culture, but all youth culture is under enormous marketing pressure. Young people are beginning to see their own creativity through a marketing logic. How can I promote what I do? How can I sell what I do? Rather than imagining what they do as a creative force that should be nurtured and expanded, they're figuring out how to fit into already existing marketing categories and niches. And that is stifling not only creativity, but it's turning automatically cultural spaces into productive, meaning product spaces, spaces that are to be sold. This is actually a process that has been additionally problematic for black artists, because young black people are more contained in corporate spaces. What they can perform and look black is more narrow. Artists of other racial and ethnic backgrounds, particularly whites, have more diversity of representation available to them. So they're able to perform themselves as individuals, whereas black artists are almost always performing blackness first. And having to perform blackness in this narrow market sense has led to the repetition of lots of very troubling stereotypes and conceptions that help their market value but don't help the art form itself. Now, around the particular issue of women, sexism exists in Western society. It has for centuries. It's existed elsewhere around the world for hundreds and hundreds of thousands of years. So this is not to say that hip-hop is responsible for sexism or anything like that. But it is important to pay very close attention to the way that hip-hop has become not just a highly sexualized space alone, which it has become, but a space where the exploitation of black women has become almost required for artists to develop an identity, to develop a sense of status, to be a powerful, desirable, successful black male image in hip-hop. You almost have to exploit black women as part of your performance. It's not something you do on the side. You have to do it. It's almost a requirement. And this is very troubling, because black women are already coming out of a history of being sexually exploited, of being associated with sexual excess and deviance. And now, in order to have a space in video culture, to be participants in the industry at large, they have to basically co-sign an exploitative conception of who they are in order to participate. And this is a very troubling thing that we're having a difficult time dealing with, because no one with a progressive point of view wants to beat up on young black men any further, because they themselves are facing so many pressures and so much exploitation that to accuse them of contributing to the half of the community's oppression is a difficult thing to do. So there's a lot of silence about it. There's a lot of tiptoeing, but we need to point out how these artists are really middlemen, that the big winners here are the industry, that they're making money off of the deeply destructive representations of black people, especially black women. That is unprecedented. If Puffy's got 400 million, we know that the industry at large is making hundreds of millions of dollars off of these representations.